If you click crop to, you'll be able to click inside of the image by, okay, this is crop to. Then you can select this, select rules of thought. Then you come inside, you don't drag, you just click once. Like you touching some, just touch inside of the image, any part of the image, just touch. As you can see, we have four meeting point of those lines. So what's the idea behind rules of thought is that the center of focus can be any of those points, that the human eye will notice something faster if you place anything behind that point. That's why we have this car around that point. So it's also a rule of composition. It's also a method of knowing where to position your object for emphasis, knowing where to position your object for focus. There are still more rules. Like there is the rules of thought does not really work for all the images most times. It's just a guide, a principle of good compositions. Have you tried to open your phone camera one day and you see those lines in your phone cameras affect photography? The idea behind rules of thought is that whenever during composition, if you're trying to get the best position to place your image or your focus, if you use one of these rules, for instance, now we're talking about rules of thought, and you try to work with them, the position of the object can be well noticed at one of the meeting points of the 4 points of the four vertical, of the two vertical and the two horizontal lines. That's what I'm trying to say. I don't know if you understand now. So that means we can place, it's either we place our image here, people will notice it well, or we place our image here, people will still notice it, or place our image here, people will notice it, or place any image. But now it's all about focus. You cannot have two focus in your design. You only have one focus. That means I cannot place one image here, come and place another one, come and place another one, come and place another one. So even if I'm placing images like that, there should be hierarchy between them, and you can achieve the hierarchy with contrast by changing their sizes, having them in different sizes. I can have another object very small here. As you can see now, we have two objects here meeting at this point. We have the car and we have the road crossing around that part too. So now that's, and when it got to this part, the road was becoming slimmer. Imagine we have a wider thick or a wider road around this side. It's going to be too distractive for this car. The two of them will be conflicting in the image. Grid is just the usual grid method of lines. We have diagonal. See what diagonal does? Like there are diagonal lines drawn, and you can decide to place your image at the center here to be well noticed. Everybody knows that a center point is a point of emphasis. Then we can have triangle now. See triangle now. Triangle. What triangle does is it creates just two triangles. This is a triangle from here to here, and another triangle from here down to here. So now where those triangles touch each other at a point can also be a center of focus. So the rules of thought and triangle and the triangular rules are equivalent. They are almost the same thing because the road too has a point here. This one too has a point here. They're almost the same thing. And we also have golden ratio. Golden ratio is a bit different from rules of thought. The difference between golden ratio and rules of thought is that the vertical lines have different widths compared to rules of thoughts.